only one on so far, so let's wait for a little while, and we will get started on making what we're going to do. But what we're going to do is we're going to wire wrap this come here out, this Amazonite pendant. So now it looks more blue when it's when it's in the it's actually sort of greenish, but that's all right. So we'll wait and see if any more people come on. Tells me now I have no people on. So anyway, we've got lots of copper wire here. Hello again, Anita. Give it just a few more seconds and then we'll turn down to get working on this. I'm going to do this one a little bit different than I usually wrap, because we're going to put the point at the bottom. And hi, Deborah. And then our so we're going to put it this way. Hi, Rosemary. With the point down here as opposed to up here. We're going to wrap up this direction. But instead of wrapping the outside wire this way, we're not going to make it as long, and we're just going to make some curlicues. And then we're going to actually put the end of our curlicue into this hole. So I think it's going to be cool looking. I hope so anyway. I have many plans for it. So let's turn down. And here we go, guys. Down. And I would normally pull up a little bit because we're wire wrapping. I'm probably going to, unfortunately, go off screen every once in a while because of the differences in the wires and stuff. Hey, Jenny. So what we're going to do is I've got some 22 round. I've got some 21 square antique copper, and I have some half round copper. And the half round is what we use to do the wrapping around things with. This is our base wire. And normally I don't use this, but what I want to do is I'm going to make a coil with this. And I'm just going to wrap about an inch of this to make a coil. Well, I'm going to make an inch coil. And I'm going to see if I can just do it off the spool so I don't have to cut a lot of excess, but we're going to just wrap this. We're trying to go on to the other, I think. Oh, I see we're going out. That's all right. We can go that way. Now this is going to be used for a little decorative piece. It's not even necessary if you don't want to do it. I'm just doing it because I want to use that little bit of decorativeness. So I'm going to do about, this is actually wider than I'm going to need it, and that's all right. I probably only need about what I've got right here. We'll put just a little bit more on here just to make sure I have plenty. Like I say, this is for decorative purposes. I don't really need it for my wire wrapping. I'm just using it for decorating. And I've got this first one a little wonky weird, so I'm going to just cut it off. And there is our little coil. So we'll put that aside for right now, and we can put this wire up. We won't need it anymore. So the first thing we want to do, other than what we just did, of course, is to take our square wire, and because it's going to be our main piece, we want to see if it will go through this hole, which it will just fine. And I'm gonna, when I do this piece, it's going to go through here, and then I'm going to bend this over so that it's more of a holding it to thing. And we'll wrap with this. And the other thing is, I was thinking we'd put some of these little guys on here, but that's another thing we need to test to see if it'll even work. Come on, where's your hole? There it is. And that's a no-go. They're too small. Now, if this was 21 round, it probably would go through fine, because the square, you know, obviously makes corners, so it makes it more difficult to go through. So let's put those little guys back in their package so we don't lose them. And the companion bundle had a lot of different odds and end small beads. Let's see, come here, you. Okay. One of the things it had was the little copper ball spacers. It also had some little bicones and all these other goodies here. I don't think I want to use these stars. It's going to be one of these three. So one of the first things we want to do is open these up and see if they will even fit on here. The ball spacer is no problem whatsoever, so we could use that one if we want to. Yeah, let's put this in here so that when I open it, it doesn't, when I cut it, it doesn't go everywhere. Boy, that's got a messy string all over the top of it. Okay, 2 down. Okay, come on, go back in your packaging. See if you'll work. These little bicones will work. So I think what we're going to do is use 2 of the bicones when we get to this point, because I think they'll make a nice contrast. And then maybe 1 of the ball spacers between the 2. Like, come here, you go in there, like so. So now this is my decorative pieces, this piece and these. That'll be way up at the top, so we're not going to need to worry about that right away. Hey, Mary. Hey, Deborah. Okay, so what we're going to do is normally I'd cut about 3 pieces of 9 inches of this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut, I want a little bit of extra long for one of these. So I'm going to cut 1 9, 1 10, and then the other one doesn't need to be very long. It's not going to go up anywhere. It's going to stay down here. So I'm going to do 1 10, 1 9, and the 9 might be plenty, but who knows for sure. I'd rather have the extra. So here's our big one, 10. Then we'll have a 9. And like I say, I probably don't need this much, but I want to make sure I have enough for what I want to do. And then we'll make a 6, because like I say, this one's not going to go very far. It's staying down here and it's going to turn into curlicues. And I have a bead in that hole right there. I think it's one of the sea glass from when I made the anklet the other day. So anyway, there's this. Now the next step is we need about 1/2 inch of 1/2 inch, 1/2 foot, 6 inches of our half round. And we'll need some more of this, so we're going to keep it out handy. But we need about 6 inches, maybe a little more of this. And 6 inches is plenty, because this is what we're going to use to wrap around our other strands. And normally I would line these all up so they're all in the same spot, but because we're all different lengths, I'm going to just try and get them sort of in the middle of all of the same stuff. And then find the middle of that. Take your half round, make sure you've got the half side down so the round is up. You can tell by looking at it, it's a slightly different, it looks slightly different. See how, let's get this up here if I can. This is the flat side. See how it's flat here? And then if you turn it, it's a sort of rounded on this side, and we're not focusing. Here we go. So you want the flat side down to your wires. And we're just going to wrap this. We probably want at least 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit longer of wrap. Now this pendant is going to go on a necklace that I have also designed, but probably are not going to have enough time for the necklace because, well, this takes a bit of time to make one of these, so I'm not even going to try. And the half round sometimes tries to turn itself, so you need to be careful of that. So now we have to decide what's front and back, and it doesn't really matter because, well, it doesn't matter. And we're going to cut these off so that they stay on the one side. And we're going to take our flat nose, and now we're going to squish down this. And you could use your nylon ones for this, and sometimes it's better because your metal ones will sometimes mar things up, but since I'm just flattening it, I'm not worrying about it right here. Okay. So now what we're going to do, it's good enough, is we want to take and find the middle of this, of our wrap here, and we can just eyeball it if we want, or we can measure it. I have it about 1/2 inch, so about 1/4 of an inch, which is right here. We'll put our pliers in here and bend it. Now, as you can see, that let the wires separate a little bit there in the curve, and that's, oh, it's not quite even. I can see that right now, but that's all right. It's not really crucial. And we want this stone to go down into that edge there. And I'm going to take my second mat off because it's cushioning this too much and it's not letting it bend as easily as it should. So we want this to go in here. The point's going to go there, and then we're going to bring these around. Now, sort of looks like a spoon, doesn't it? These shorter ones here, I'm going to get my pin twist out. I should have already had it out if I'd thought about it. And I'm going to twist these up. So this is a pin twist. You can do this with pliers, but it's so much easier with this little doodad. Am I snowed in? Nope, not at all. In fact, we did have snow yesterday, and it's almost all melted back off again. So we're going to just wind this one up. And that kink doesn't matter because it's not going to come up here like the other ones is. What we're going to do is now we're going to put this other one on, wrap it too. And we're probably going to do most of the work before we even try. Oops, I didn't get that tight. Even try to put the stone in. The only reason I had it doing it was because I needed to know about where it was going to go so we could have some idea what we're doing here. So this one, we're going to bring it, put the stone back here, and we're going to take, this one is going to have a bend in it. Probably it's going to go down, so we go right there. Then we're going to take our round nose, one of the few times I use a round nose, and we're going to make a curl. And it's like, this is going to be a spiral, yes, and that piece is going to be sitting in the middle. So now we'll take our flat nose, and we'll just keep spiraling this. We actually make it quite a bit bigger spiral than I want, but we'll find out when we get down that way. A little bit more. And yes, this is a little awkward because of the way we're doing that, but see, there's that spiral there. The stone is going to go onto it like so, and then we'll push it down into place. And when we come over here, we'll push this one down and tuck it into right here. But first, we got one more thing we're going to do here. And I'm probably going to trim this one down so it doesn't get nearly as big a spiral as this one has, because we don't want to entirely cover up our stone. Come on there, come off that. And we could actually tighten this spiral if we wanted it to be a little tighter, because it is sort of loose. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to take and make this one a spiral too, but I don't want as big a spiral. So I'm going to cut off, say that much of it. And we're going to spiral it the opposite direction. When you. Okay, your spiral is getting too big, so we'll cut part of it off because it's squaring up anyway. Put it side by side like so. Now, to hold it sort of in place there, I'm going to get another piece of the half round. Oop. And that's a lot more than I need, but that's all right. And we're going to attach your bottom wire, get out of the way. We're going to hook this right here so that it stays in place against this wire. Now be aware this is really thin wire because it is half. And even though it's 21 gauge, it's still half. So it's going to try and bend on you very easily. So you'll want to be careful. So that'll hold that one right there. We'll trim this off, but as you'll see, now we push this through here again, come up, and now we have these two pretty spirals right at the base of our stone. Come on, go back in there where you belong. So now push that back off again. And we're going to cut these two little pieces off. And we're going to tuck them in towards the back as much as we can. I hope I'm not going off screen for you guys. Or my head's not in the way, either one. Okay, now I was thinking of hooking these together, but I don't think we need to. There's a pretty good sized piece, so we'll keep that there. So now again, we want to get our top wires more in place than they are now because I mangled them as I was working with this. Get our stone into place down here. Now I'm not going to leave this stone in place. It's easier to not work with it in place when we start up here. Though it actually is fine if you do have it in place. It won't hurt anything. But we do want to have some working space with these two wires up here. This one really went crooked, but that's all right because it's going to go to the back anyway. So there's what the start of it looks like. So what we need to do now is we're going to get another piece of the half round. And instead of having 6 wires that it's going to go across like we normally do when we get up here towards the top, there's only going to be the 4. Because we have already pulled this one in here. So we're going to get our half round. We're going to start our wrap for the wires up here, and then I'm going to take the stone back out so it's not in my way as I'm working. So we'll get about, we want quite a bit here because this is the one that's going to go up and around the top. Again, we want to go with our half round with our flat side down. Get our stones, our wires all wrapped. That one really is a crooked one right there. I mangled that when we were working there, but that's all right. Like I say, it is the back wire, so it's not that big of a deal. So now what we want to do, now that we've got the wires up here where we want them to be, and we've got them together, we want to take our flat wire and we're going to wrap it around tightly 4 or 5 times around this top here. And now see the rock, it wants to come out anyway, so we're going to let it. This one is our pull wire. So let's get our pliers and pull that tight because we do want this really tight right here. So it doesn't try to loosen up too much on us. And we can see that that's not quite tight there because that one is looser. That second one back down that wire is looser than this one is. So we need to pull it tight. Okay. Now that we've got about 4 wraps there, pulling all 4 of them together, we want to take and separate these out and take 2 to one side. Let's see which ones are. I want the longest ones over. Okay. Looks like we've got this one is the longest. Where are you at? You seem to be in a weird spot. Okay. We'll go this direction. And then the longest one still gets to go this direction. So now these 2 are the ones that are going to actually make the bail. So we'll go into here and we're going to start wrapping around these 2. Now this is a simple wrap. You could get a little fancy if you wanted to and make a basket wrap here. Usually with a basket wrap though you want a round. But to do a basket wrap, if you've never done one, it just goes over one, around to the other, over it, push them down as you're working, over the next one on this side, over to here and down to here. Over here, here. And so you just keep going back and forth like that. And it's going to spread your wires a little bit. Nope, don't go that way, this way. And see, it looks the same more or less over on this side. I'm going to do this for a while since we started it, and then we'll go back to doing the round, mainly because we don't want to run out of wire, because I didn't get a weaving amount of wire out. I just got a wrapping amount out. Now what I'm going to do is just bring these wires back together and start wrapping them again. And I see I've turned it. It's got the round side, the flat side up. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to have to maneuver it so it turns back to the way it should be. There we go. Yep. And then we will just wrap this the rest of the way up till we run out of wire. Okay, now we're going to flatten this out. Get my flat nose, they flatten more at the same time. And again, down here as well. Now, this is where we want, there they are. I'm going to take our, in you go. And I could have made a smaller bell, but I also could have made a bigger one. So here's our bail portion. It's not as pretty as I would like it, and I should have cut off this guy right here before we twisted it around. Come here, you. We want that to be cut inside there. And it's not, so let's see if I can get stuff out of the way. That was careless of me not to cut this one off first. Okay. Now these two are now going to be separated and pulled tight. And come back around to the front. Okay. Okay. I'm going to push this a bit so it's backwards some. And now these two can be cut off and tucked in. Thank you, ladies. So anyway, this basket weave isn't the prettiest in the world, but I need to spread it some so that it looks more down here since I did it combined with the other side. That side doesn't matter so much. It's going to be towards the back. And now is when we're going to stop that. First, I'm going to get these two tucked. Then I'm going to get our stone in. So we need to cut these. Leave them about, quarter inch or so. Then we're going to take them and push them around. Bring you over here. Okay. So now we have our pretties here. Now what we're going to do, put our stone in. And to do this, we're going to bring our outer wire here up and around to the back side here. Just make a little tiny loop like that. Do the same with this side. It should be easy. It already had that kink in it. Okay. Now we'll get this a little bit deeper so it matches the other side better. And this needs to come over here at the top some. Now we're going to take, ta-da, isn't it pretty? We're going to take this little piece here and we're going to fold it down. And then we're going to fold it again right here at the very tip. And we're going to tuck it down into the stone right here, or beside the stone. So there's our little piece. This is the side pieces right here, so we don't want to mess with them too much. Now we're on to our next phase. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, thank you, Mary. Next step is we're going to do the little wraps that go around. I'm sure you've seen them where they come up and around like so. Now we don't want to get too close to the top because we need to have stuff go through there. So then these are going to loop around like so and make a pretty. Now this one is upper, so we want to make sure it doesn't come down and try to get into the other one. Spot. And the next thing is I have these lovely little decorative pieces. And then we have to decide whether the coil goes to the bottom or the coil goes to the top. And the beads go to the bottom. See, it goes going to go on here. And it's a little bit bigger than I really wanted it to be. So maybe we won't even use it. But we are going to put our beads up in here. So they'll go like so. And then their wire's going to come around from the bottom here, Rose, then over here. This one is going to go like this. But instead of going all the way around, I'm going to see if I can tuck it right in here and then pull it back out this direction. And I think there's enough room for me to do that. I hope so. We'll see. But in the meantime, this one is going to get a curly Q going to this side. This is why I made those extra long wires, so they could loop around like this and then make a coil up at the top. And instead of going through there, over there, I may just make a coil right here and just let it stay put. And I think that's what we're going to do. But this coil, we're going to try and make it oops, you're pulling it out of shape, Rose. So let's put it right there, just like that. Now, because these are doing this, I am going to take this little piece of the half round we still had left, and I'm going to put you into place here, like there. And you came up a little bit more than I wanted, so let's do there. And then we're going to take our half round here. That we had left. And we're going to attach these two coils to each other. I can get in there all right. But that will keep them more sturdily in place as they hold on there. So around we go. And this is upside down, I might add. I can see that it is, but we're going to leave it be because I'm not going to try and fix it. Okay. Now we'll have to cut that off and do any straightening we want to do. I'm going to try and tuck this one down and through so that when I cut it, it's not going to be up on top. Come on, you, don't give me any flack. Now we're going to tuck this little piece here down into here. That looks like that other little one may have self-tucked when I cut it. There we go. So now I had been planning on putting this coil on one of these to add a little bit more to it, but it's a little too big. It's overpowering the other stuff, so we decided not to do that. And there is this. Like I said, if we want to do any straightening, this is the time. Push this over here maybe a little bit. This is the back, so it's not quite so crucial that it looks exactly identical to the other side. But I like it to look nice. And it's not, you know, real pretty right here either. That's tucked down there. Oh, I can see it in there. I don't want to see it if I can help it. So we may want to pull it back out if we can and cut the tip off. And we'll put it back in. There we go. Can't see it now. Now, if you want these flattened a little better, this is where I would get my nylon jaws out and go across to my spirals some to squish them down to the stone. Other than missing that this little coil here, I think it turned out just how I wanted it to. Thanks, ladies. Hi, Bonnie. So here, let's get a closer look at it. There it is, all finished. Thanks, Janice. So one of my favorites are making these little twirls across the top. I think it adds quite a bit to the piece. But you do need to make sure you leave your gap right here so you can go through. I also like to add a little contrasty bead here. And like I said, normally it would have been inverted so that the point was at the top. But with the hole, I thought this would make a really cool having these spirals down here and going through that hole to help it stabilize right here. So it's definitely not coming out. It's good and stuck in there. So, and the spirals are what is holding it in the front. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Janice. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Anita. Glad you all like it. Like I said, I did this a little different than normal, and I did do a little basket weave up here at the top, which I should, if I was going to do that, I should have cut a little more wire so we had more basket weave room, but it worked out all right. So what we're going to do to make the rest of the necklace, I wonder if I have my pieces here that I was going to use. We're going to make a 3-strand, not 3-strand necklace. I'll show you what I mean. Well, I'll try and show you what I mean. Down here, we're going to have 2 strands. I'm going to have a strand of chain, which is probably going to have only hold this, and then a little another little upper one with beads. And then it's just going to be a short section, maybe 2 inches. Then I'm going to bring in these pieces, these chandelier pieces that are more for earrings, but that's, we're not going to use them for that. It's going to go right here and here. And then I'm going to have a bead strand on each of these, and it will go up, I don't know, maybe 6 inches on either side, 5-6 inches. And then it'll go from here, switch to chain, and just go chain all the way around, the rest of the way around it. So it'll be 2 strands here, one with the, probably just chain with the, my original plan was to put a bead strand right through here, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna put the chain through. See how I say got to be careful because you got to leave room for things to go through that. So it'll come just a couple of inches, like so, maybe not even that much. And then another bead strand will go across the top here, like, and this will hang down a little bit and the bead strand will go across like that. Then, like I say, 3 bead strands on either side, and then chain up the back to finish it. So I am probably going to finish this necklace up in a video, a recorded video, which will probably go up hopefully tomorrow if I get this done today. I knew I wouldn't have time to do the necklace and the pendant today, so I didn't even try. But there we go. So because these are so close, though, we're going to have small beads, larger beads, then larger beads, small beads, so that we, and I have to decide if I want them to be all the same length, since they're going to be going up this direction, or if I'm going to need to make the outer one a little bigger, etc., etc. So, which I probably will need to do, but we'll get to it. I'm about to flip us up. We only have a few minutes of our hour left, so pretty good timing on finishing our pendant. So here we go. We're moving. So like I say, we only have, hi Brenda, we only have a few more minutes here, but I have more or less shown you what I'm going to do with our lovely pendant we finished making, and I really like the way it turned out. It turned out even better than I was hoping it would. There it is. So our pendant. And it really is looking a lot bluer than it actually is. It's actually got a lot more green in it than the blue that's showing up. Randy Brown of Thunder Horse Descendant is always saying, my reds and pinks don't show up. Well, my blues tend to go a little more blue. So each his own. Anyway, so there's our pendant. That's what we did today. And I will make the necklace. And thank you, Rosemary. And we will, I'll get it done today, hopefully. Have a few errands I have to run today. My husband's and my cars both went out last month. My daughter's went out this month. So, I mean, just yesterday. And they told her it's going to cost over $2,000 to get fixed. And we're like, oh, God, she doesn't have that money. So we're going to have to come up with it. And we just put out a whole bunch for ours. So fun day. Not real thrilled. But anyway, my beading place always calms me down. So that will probably help quite a bit having this to do. And now I have this little spiral that this little coil that I'm going to have to decide what I want to do with it. I can come up with all kinds of ideas for that. And I showed you when we did the unboxing how I wanted to make some earrings that could be interchangeable. Yeah, really. That is going to be interchangeable for earrings. Do I have those pieces? I think I was talking about it when we unboxed the companion bundle. By the way, there were 3 companion bundles to this because a new companion bundle just came out today. I think it was today that I purchased, which I probably shouldn't because, hey, I've got lots of other bills. But if you watched my unboxing, you'll remember that I was talking about these magnetic clasps, and how you can pull them apart, of course. Yeah, I'll pull it apart. Now, I found some silver ones. I found some gold ones, but I did not find any more of the antique copper in my stash of stuff, unfortunately, because what I want to do with these is just put a little bead section above and then put them on the ear wire. But then on the bottom, I want to do any kind of bead dangle, but I want to be able to switch them out. So what I want to do is I want to do 2 strands so that you can change the bottom if you want to. So I guess I could make a multi-metal because I got the gold, I got the silver, but I only got the 1 copper. And of course, I got 2 coppers, I got 2 golds, and 1 silver. So it's like, if I wanted to do multi-metal with them, I could just use the silver for the other ones, earrings that I want to make, and we may do that, but we'll see. But I think that's a sort of interesting idea when I came up with when I saw those, but we'll see how that works. Life is short by the beads. That's sort of the way I feel because I always want more beads. So anyway, ladies, it is 1 minute till the hour. Well, it's 58:23 according to my stuff. So we're going to leave just a few seconds early. And I am going to get working on finishing this necklace up. I will record it. I will put it up for tomorrow morning so you all can see what it looks like and how to work on it. And I hope you all are going to enjoy this. So we'll see you live next Tuesday. And as usual, we're going to have recorded videos every day this week, other than Sunday. Of course, I don't do Sunday. Day of rest, you know. And it's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, tomorrow afternoon at 5, I will have my unboxing for Softflex's Rainy Days. So that is the one day that I have 2 videos. So there'll be that. Thank you, Mary. Thanks, Rosemary. So I am going to go for now, since we're right there just about at our hour. And we'll see you later. And I hope you come back and watch the tutorial tomorrow morning to do the necklace portion. Bye-bye.